Imagine this. Every morning before work, you stop at your favorite coffee shop and buy a $5 coffee. It feels harmless. It is just $5. A quick reward before a long day. Most people never think twice about it because $5 does not sound expensive. But what if I told you that this tiny daily habit could quietly cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime? Not because coffee is evil, but because of something far more powerful called opportunity cost and compound investing. Today, we are going to break down the real math behind the $5 coffee habit and show why small daily expenses matter more than most people realize. Let's start with the basic numbers. $5 a day does not feel like much. But if you buy coffee every single day, that is $35 a week. Over 1 month, that becomes around $150. Over 1 year, you are spending about $1,800 on coffee alone. Most people hearing that number already feel surprised. But this is where things get interesting. The real problem is not the coffee itself. The real problem is what that money could have become if it had been invested instead. Let's imagine two people. Jake buys a $5 coffee every day for the next 40 years. Sarah skips the daily coffee and invests that same $5 into the stock market instead. She invests consistently into a simple index fund earning an average annual return of 10%. Which is close to the historical average of the US stock market over long periods. At first, the difference between Jake and Sarah looks tiny. Jake enjoys coffee. Sarah saves a few bucks. But year after year, the gap becomes enormous because of compound interest. After 10 years, Sarah would not just have the $18,000 she invested. Thanks to compound growth, she would have over $30,000. After 20 years, that number grows to more than $100,000. After 30 years, it explodes to nearly $350,000. And after 40 years, Sarah could end up with over $800,000 just from investing the money she did not spend on coffee. Think about that for a second. One small daily habit, $5, turned into nearly $1 million over time. Now, does this mean you should never buy coffee again? Of course not. That is not the point. The point is awareness. Most people underestimate the power of small consistent decisions. They think wealth is built through giant paychecks or lottery wins. But in reality, wealth is often built quietly through tiny habits repeated for decades. This is why rich people think differently about money. They do not just ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "What is the long-term cost of this purchase?" A $5 coffee today is not just $5. It might actually be $20, $50, or even hundreds of dollars in future value because of missed investment growth. And this idea applies to much more than coffee. Daily takeout food, subscription services you never use, impulse Amazon purchases, expensive car payments, tiny spending leaks are everywhere. Individually they seem harmless, but together they silently drain your future wealth. Now here is where many people get confused. They hear advice like this and think they must become extremely cheap or stop enjoying life completely. But that is not the lesson. The goal is not to eliminate happiness. The goal is to spend intentionally. If coffee truly brings you joy and fits within your financial goals, enjoy it. But if you are buying it mindlessly every day without thinking about the long-term trade-off, that is when it becomes dangerous. Let's take this even further. Imagine you invest not $5 a day, but $10. Suddenly the future value doubles. $20 a day. Now you are potentially looking at millions over several decades. This is why investing early matters so much. Time is more powerful than the amount itself. A lot of people say, "I'll start investing when I make more money." But that mindset keeps millions of people stuck forever. Because investing is not just about income. It is about habits. Someone earning $50,000 with disciplined investing habits can often become wealthier than someone earning $200,000 who spends everything they make. The scary part is lifestyle inflation. As people earn more money, they usually increase their spending instead of increasing investments. Bigger apartment, new car, expensive vacations, luxury subscriptions. They upgrade their entire lifestyle without building assets. So even though their salary rises, their wealth does not. This is why many high-income people still live paycheck to paycheck. Their spending grows as fast as their income. Meanwhile, financially smart people keep their expenses reasonable and invest the difference consistently for decades. The most powerful part of investing is that eventually your money starts working harder than you do. In the beginning, your investments grow slowly. It feels boring. But after enough time, compound interest becomes unstoppable. Your gains begin generating their own gains. Then those gains create even more gains. It becomes a snowball rolling downhill, growing larger and faster every year. That is why time matters more than perfection. You do not need to pick the perfect stock. You do not need to become a financial genius. Most millionaires build wealth through simple, consistent investing over long periods. And here is the crazy thing. Most people already have money they could invest. They just do not realize where it is going. Tiny purchases feel invisible because they happen daily. But banks and companies understand this psychology perfectly. That is why subscriptions are cheap monthly instead of expensive yearly. Small amounts feel painless, but over decades, they become massive. So the next time you buy something small, ask yourself one simple question. Is this purchase worth more to me today than the future financial freedom it could create tomorrow? Sometimes the answer will be yes. Sometimes it will be no. But simply asking the question changes how you think about money forever. At the end of the day, wealth is not built overnight. It is built through thousands of small decisions. The $5 coffee is not really about coffee. It is about mindset. It is about understanding that every dollar has potential. Every dollar can either buy temporary pleasure today or freedom tomorrow. And the people who become financially successful are usually not the smartest people in the room. They are simply the people who understand the power of consistency, patience, and long-term thinking. So before you say, "It's only $5, remember this. Small habits do not stay small forever. They grow. Either into wealth or into missed opportunity. The choice is yours. Subscribe the channel.